from WOWT, this is a First Alert 6 weather day.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this First Alert 6 weather day here on streaming. I'm Cerise Cole, meteorologist Jared Lansford, senior chief meteorologist Rusty Lord, the man of the hour, because it is a First Alert 6 weather day. Let us know what we can expect today.
It's another one of those scenarios where there's not going to be a ton of storms, but anything that can get going will have a lot of energy to work with. So that's why we're going to have to pay attention here very closely over the course of this First Alert 6 weather day, because there's no real set start time. There's just the possibilities of the earliest storms because they're going to be spotty. They're not going to be for everybody. I would fully expect many of us may end up staying dry today, but the energy is going to be there as we surge to 87 degrees. Now it's going to seem weird. We're going to start cloudy. It'll take some afternoon clearing to get there, but it'll happen. Spotty severe storms possible today as early as noon in our western counties, but the best odds in the metro probably looking at that 3 to 7 window roughly. Again, you got to give or take an hour on these just because of the spotty nature of the storms, and make sure you're paying attention. Hail, tornado, wind potential with any of the storms that can get going. Now out there early this morning may have a little drizzle at times, a couple little showers that have tried to hang on. You can see anything that's moving northeast is fizzling a little bit, but this is just the atmosphere having a little energy with it already, trying to build in a shower or two. But the main energy will build in during the day today, and here's the risk area that we have. It ranges from a 1 on the west side of the viewing area to a 3 on the east side. That tells us as the front moves in, it'll be easier to spark storms the farther east it goes. Any storms that do get going will run into more and more energy as they move east too. So that's why folks in western Iowa and right along the Missouri River probably have a little better bet of getting some stronger storms. The problem is I just don't think there's going to be all that many to begin with. So we'll be watching this very, very closely today, because any storm that can get going has a potential to produce some large hail. That's probably the biggest risk out of this from near and east of the river. We're talking golf ball to maybe baseball size hail from the strongest of the storms. Not everyone, but the worst of it would probably have that. Now the tornado risk, you can see the greatest threat is probably in our west central Iowa counties, but it's possible whenever these storms get going, because all of them will be rotating. They'll just kind of strengthen as they move east and northeast and get closer to this red shaded area, which is a 4 out of 5. The wind threat probably of the 3 on the lowest end, but still possible from any storms that can get going. So the greatest tornado threat east of the Missouri River. Yeah, the hail threat, golf ball to baseball size hail. Again, this is not for everybody. Severe weather never works that way. It's spotty, it's random, but you look where we have the ingredients and you see what can develop. Now we have the south wind that's gusting to near 40 miles per hour today, just pumping in the moisture and the energy we're going to need for this round of severe weather. And those will be likely gusting to near 40 miles per hour all the way through the afternoon until the front moves through and switches our winds a little bit. So here's the way the map may look by about noon. And this little specks of green could be humidity, could be a little drizzle. Watch what happens during the afternoon. Clouds clear out and there's your 80s starting to build in. And there we go. By 3 o'clock, maybe 1 or 2 storms. And I will tell you, not every model has storm development happening. It could be very late in its progression, maybe developing more on the Iowa side. But I wanted to kind of show you how this may play out if storms were starting to develop in our area. You can see here by 4 o'clock, couple spotty storms, maybe 1 or 2 of these went out and take over, and then they move to the east and northeast. Now that just because it has this cluster here in west central Iowa, this could be down here, it could be right here, it could be anywhere on the map. So there's a randomness to it. But you can see how they develop and they move northeast by 7 o'clock. Greatest threats probably on the Iowa side, and then that's where it may reside the rest of the evening as the front goes through, flips our winds around. So it's not necessarily the front causing it, but it'll try to develop storms out ahead of it quite a bit as well until it moves through and just kind of shuts it all off for everybody. And temperatures will fall into the 50s and eventually 40s by tomorrow morning. And you may need the furnace again by tomorrow morning after needing the air conditioner today, because that's just the way things go. If you're worried about the school day, now the best odds for storms will probably be just right around the end of the day and after. So again, not many on the map. I don't think much is going to happen during the school day. It might be right there around 3 o'clock and onward for the best odds for thunderstorms in the area. So that's what we'll be watching for in that pickup forecast. I don't think it's widespread storms again. I know there's a lot of anxiety whenever there's school involved and kids heading to school, but right now, remember, I think it's mostly after the school day with the worst of the conditions.
That'll bring parents a lot of relief. So, okay, so after this storm, are we in for more storm? Is this the kind of week we're going to have?
It doesn't look like anything nearly this intense, but I still think there are more rain chances. We'll get some more spring rain, some spring thunderstorms. It won't be the case tomorrow. You got mostly sunny skies, a little bit of a northwest breeze. Looks pretty good tomorrow, up near 68 for the high and the sunshine. The air dries out, and I think we're able to spike a fair amount with our temperature. And then Wednesday, some more thunderstorms try to build in from the south. Could have a morning round on Wednesday that doesn't really shut off, so we'll see how it goes. A few more heading into Thursday morning as well. Overall, the severity of those doesn't look all that much. And then might be a busy week next week. No one chance really sticks out from Sunday onward, but just given the pattern, it looks like it could be a little unsettled early next week as well. And we'll see if something ends up becoming a little stronger day there. So after today, this week looks to be fairly quiet. So mostly focus on this afternoon.
Okay, we will take quiet after
Okay,
this.
sounds good.
Thank you, Rusty. Traffic in our favorite spot, not quiet.
I'll give you 3 guesses on where it's slow right now. Well, you got it. Good job. Yeah, we're going to check in on I-80.
Okay.
It's that zone where we've got the long-term construction, and it has been a mess.
It has been.
At times over the last few weeks, and that is certainly the case when you're looking at this camera right now. That is as you're going westbound, right around Q is where you start to run into those delays. You can see all the brake lights lighting up and people trying to squeeze into those lanes that are open at this point. So red right in that area, that's right where we're looking. It does get slightly better once you get past Giles, especially going westbound. That's where you get some improvement really starting to show up in that area. I'm going to be watching eastbound though, because last week we were seeing that start to light up as we picked more traffic up. Roughly about 15 to 20 minutes from when we're at right now is when that has started to delay. So good at the moment, but don't be surprised if by the time you leave this morning, you run into delays eastbound. 144th has really had issues though this morning. As you're going southbound, trying to get to I-80, look at all those delays that have lit up there around Giles and as you continue closer to I-80. So that's another spot, construction related with delays. We've had off and on delays as well heading westbound over 480 over the Missouri River. That's another long-term construction project. At the moment, that's actually holding up in okay shape though. You can see that there's a couple of other spots that are running just a little bit slow. Highway 370 as you're going eastbound, about 168th or so. Nothing major there, but there are some delays that are showing up there. And then our spots on Dodge where you would expect things to be busy. 90th, 72nd, you get into some of those zones. It's just a tad slow, but mainly it's another reminder if you haven't found an alternate route yet for I-80. You want to think about it.
I call it the Hot Mess Express because that's what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good name for it.
All right, look for an alternative. Yeah, the one that works for you. Jarrett, keep us updated. Thank you. Well, more on our top story this morning, an update regarding the missing girls in the Missouri River. The body found in the river over the weekend is 18-year-old Lake Tremu. 2 others, Leona Green and Akri Mu, have yet to be found. From MP Dodge Park down to Platt Smith, 5 agencies have been on the river hoping to provide closure and find those 2 other girls. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says while the body was found near where the girls were last seen, each person could have taken a different path downstream. Eswin Mejia will not be back in court this week as expected to face his motor vehicle homicide charge. He is accused of driving drunk 9 years ago in Omaha, hitting and killing Sarah Root, then fleeing the country. Mejia is in the Douglas County Jail on a $100 million bond. He was due in court tomorrow, but his public defender waived the hearing. The case now heads to district court. Now with Maria Cade here at the safety desk. And Maria, there's new research finding out about the amount of ultra processed foods that we all eat. It can make a big difference in our health, unfortunately.
Absolutely, and it is found in a lot of foods in the grocery stores too. Now this study is finding that your chance of dying earlier than maybe you could, rises with every single bite that you take of that ultra-processed food. And these foods are considered to have little to no whole foods, so those really good vitamins, minerals. Many have chemicals and synthetic additives in them. Now, according to one expert, there's no reason to believe that humans can even adapt their bodies to these products, and that means that your body could become impaired, even damaged, depending on its vulnerability to the amount of that ultra-processed food that you eat. And this research, again, is really notable because it's estimated that about 70% of all the food in the grocery stores across America has that ultra-processed additives in it.
It's everywhere. Oh,
It is.
all right. We got to work on that. All right. Also have some information about drug overdoses, the leading cause of injury and death in the U.S., but there is a way to make sure those unused pills don't get into the wrong hands.
I know, this impacts a lot of people, maybe not personally, but maybe somebody they know. Overdoses killed more than 105,000 Americans in 2023. So this is a big issue that people are working to address. But cleaning out the medicine cabinet, throwing away any medications that you don't need, that can remove a threat of any potential harm. So many times people who have a substance use disorder get them from the medicine cabinets of their family and their friends. And some of the most concerning medications to properly get rid of are any that have an overdose or a toxicity risk. So this can include things like pain meds, sleeping pills, anti-seizure medicines, and blood pressure medication as well. Now, if you do want to get rid of these, there are some places that you can go to drop them off. They are DEA approved.
Okay.
Another option that you can do is get a mail back envelope. They're prepaid.
Oh,
and
that's
then you
nice.
can mail those drugs back. You can get those online, or you can get them at some pharmacies too.
That's very nice and convenient. They also periodically have those drug take-back days.
Yes, the
stores
national one was just this
Yeah.
past weekend, so
Yeah.
definitely, in the minds of a lot of people.
All right, good information, Maria. Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Taking a live look outside off to the metro. You can see those clouds. It's a cloudy start. It's a mild start. Also kind of a humid start. I know. Everything you love. We do want to remind you it is a First Alert 6 weather day, and the timing's not good, but for those who have those NOAA radios, you have a...
There's some scheduled maintenance on some stuff at the National Weather Service, and that's going to render those inoperable for the next couple of days. Some they couldn't postpone, but it's part of the deal. They had to do it. They were on the schedule for today. They got to keep it. So weather radios will not be functioning today. All other modes of getting warning information, phones, apps, they're still good. Sirens, all of that is good. It's just weather radios that will not operate today with this severe weather threat. So let me show you what it looks like here as we march through. It is warm. It is muggy. Look at this. Dew point is 63. southeast wind 25 miles per hour, and just a layer of clouds. Now, that starts off our first alert weather day. You're thinking, how on earth is it going to storm? The sun's not even out. Well, we're going to have clouds and drizzle. Those will move out, warm, muggy, and windy after that, and then spotty storms possible as early as noon. Just kind of making sure we encompass the entire time frame here, but I think the best odds for the metro probably in that 3 to 7 window. Severe risks entail all modes. Hail probably the biggest issue. Tornado threat is there with any storm because they'll all be trying to rotate. There's even a couple little sprinkles trying to hold on right now down here to the southwest of Beatrice and Lincoln. The first batch that moved in really fizzled. We'll see if those can hang on a little better, and that could be a shower or maybe a little drizzle here this morning. But as you can see, the best odds for severe storms continue to be the farther east you go. As the front moves east, as any storms develop and move east, the farther east everything goes today, the better the odds of severe weather and the more energy that there'll be to work with. A 3 out of 5 on the scale for the areas near the river and east. So the best odds for a tornado likely on the Missouri River side of near the Missouri River and east on the Iowa side. Wind gusts 60 miles per hour, a little lower threat, but still possible. I'm going to be watching for golf ball to baseball size hail again from some of the strongest storms. Don't need that, but I think it is possible. Now, you can see the moisture that's there this morning. That's the clouds, the drizzle, maybe a shower in there. Any of this stuff will probably have a hard time getting going, but 60s turn into 70s, and then there's the clearing. Look at that. Clear out and boom, there goes some storms, 3, 4, 5 o'clock with some spotty storms firing up towards 5, 6, and 7. There's going to be a little lid on the atmosphere that may be trying to suppress things, but there'll be a couple of spots where maybe some storms can get up through that all the way through about 7 o'clock until the front starts to march in, and then maybe fire off a few more on the Iowa side into the evening hours. So this is what we'll be watching. Kind of a complex setup. Cooler, drier air will settle in behind that as we go through the course of the evening hours and overnight. So only a 40% chance of storms, but those could be strong when they develop. And then you got some more rain potential Wednesday and into Thursday to talk about. Those look to be a little weaker.
All right, Rusty. So once we get past these storms, we're waking up to the muggy conditions. Does this mean we're like in muggy season?
Yeah, are we here?
Is humidity here to stay?
Is it summer? Is this what we're going to do every day? Luckily, no. It's going to really dry out tonight and into tomorrow. That's how you get some lows down in the 40s here, and that's going to be some more comfortable air. So while you need the air conditioner today, you might go back to the furnace for a little while tomorrow morning. It does show signs of maybe a little more humidity starting Sunday and into next week. You look at the muggy meter here. After today, we dip down and stay in the pleasant or refreshing range over the course of the rest of the week and into the weekend. Notice Sunday, though. That may be the early signs of what could be another round of humidity and maybe some storm chances early next week. So today is the worst of it. You step outside, you feel it, or you step inside our studio, you can feel it a little bit.
It's very humid in here, too.
Kind of mimicking the outdoors. But yeah, you'll notice the humidity today without a doubt.
Okay. All right. And what did you have? What we're going to add?
We don't have that wind out there that's helping out in the studio. So.
Yeah.
So we're just sitting in it.
Exactly.
All right, we have a new crash in Papillion through Highway 370.
Yeah, as you're making your way, it's around 36 where we have this crash that's in place. So you can see that no direction was given when this came in, but you are looking at just about every direction showing delays as a result of this crash. That includes eastbound and westbound on 370 right around 36. So as you head through this area, you want to watch for that northbound traffic also showing some delays as a result of that one. So be prepared for things to be slower as you go through there. Any emergency crews on the scene, you want to give them plenty of room to work that. Elsewhere where we've had delays are tied to our construction zones. Westbound on I-80, still pretty slow from about Q down toward 370. This is the view of what it looks like as you're going through right around Giles. You can see how congested it is with those lane restrictions that are in place right now. And 144th, really struggling as you're heading southbound. I want to zoom out real quick, give you a sense. There's the crash that we were just discussing. Some delays starting to show up on the JFK around Gilmore. Otherwise, it's a lot of those construction zones where we have the delays. So plan accordingly. We'll keep you posted with the latest, give you a first alert with any changes with that crash and the slowdowns associated with it, Cerise.
All right, Jared, thank you. We'll still ahead this morning. The nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2025. Find out who's joining the list when First Alert 6 streaming returns.
Welcome back. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is welcoming its newest artists.
Yeah, on the list as first-time nominees are Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, and Bad Company. Other nominees include Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, The White Stripes, and Soundgarden. More than 1,200 in the industry picked this year's nominees. And artists, see, people are wondering why their favorite artist isn't on there. You have to wait at least 25 years after the first commercial recording is released to be eligible. Does that make sense? So the induction ceremony is set for the fall in Los Angeles.
So just to be clear, those are the ones that got in that you were just seeing those names. Everyone we just named off,
They're officially in.
They were
Those
inducted.
aren't the nominees. Yeah.
Like other ones that were nominated were Mariah Carey. She didn't make the cut for this year. So
Mariah didn't make the cut.
He's the resident music guy. He knows so much.
Does she know? She is
Maybe
not
next
going to
year.
like
Next
that.
year, she'll be
Who
on.
are you glad made it?
I would have thought Chubby Checker would have been in already.
Even Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
So there's some
I'm happy
really
for that.
intense competition for this. So there's always
big honor.
artists that people are like, wow, they're not in.
I know.
And so happy for all the ones that
Yes,
did.
this is a good class.
Soundgarden.
We all agree.
Yes.
All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it on streaming or over the air. Until then, have a great day.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Hey everybody, it is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole. It is a First Alert 6 weather day, so let's get to Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord, who's tracking what we can expect.
Yeah, very spotty storms, the name of the game today as we go into the afternoon. And any storm that can get going will likely become severe pretty quickly. There'll be a little lid on the atmosphere they got to fight through, but I think some will eventually break through. Anytime after noon in our western counties, I think 3 to 7 is probably the window in the metro area. Hail and tornado, the two biggest threats. Some wind is possible, but we're going to be watching for all of it today as the storms get going and we surge to 87. Yes, that can happen even with the humidity that is out there, or even with the cloud cover that's out there today. Strongest storms, the greatest risk of everything is going to be from the river to the east. Everything that marches east will just have a little better atmosphere to work with. A couple of showers out there right now, but the clouds and some shower activity, a windy, humid day as well. Gusts up near 40 miles per hour. Again, watch for storms after noon, but the main window for the metro probably 3 to 7 o'clock, the way things are shaping up now. Jarrett?
Really impacting the flow of traffic at 36th and Highway 370. It's unclear exactly what direction that crash is in, but you can see all directions are being impacted, especially eastbound and westbound. So this is an area where you want to be prepared for delays and maybe seek an alternate route if you can find one for the time being. Otherwise, it's all about the construction zones with our other delays. As you're going westbound I-80, things backing up right past Q. There you can see in the distance there all the brake lights showing up. 144th has been especially slow heading southbound approaching I-80 this morning. You've got some delays on the JFK, also 204th as you're going north and southbound just to the south of Dodge. Cerise.
All right, Jared, a heads up. The National Weather Service says all NOAA weather radio transmitters operated by their office will be off the air between today and Wednesday. So this is due to a required scheduled computer update. Omaha's radar will remain in operation. It is 7:28. We are back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody.
I go back, I remember bombs over Baghdad. That's as far back as, what year would that have been?
98 maybe?
Okay.
Well,
Age.
Yeah,
better than the alternative.
I think this was Outkast's third time on the ballot.
Wow.
Surely though.
So it's tough then, huh?
Rhina ain't in?
Yeah.
I was like, does she know the diva don't like that?
It's not gonna be. That's not gonna go well for somebody.
Yeah, I forget. Was it Rush? I know Rush. It took a long time.